morning.
Can you hear me? Oh. Welcome to the weekly multi-platform service of TriUU, Tri-County Unitarian Universalists, based in Summerfield, Florida. We acknowledge that we occupy the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the indigenous Florida peoples. I'm Maria Kelly, today's service leader. Hello to our members and friends, and a special welcome to those who are visiting us for the first time. Unitarian Universalists are united not by a creed of shared beliefs, but by a covenant of shared values. We celebrate that we do not need to think alike to love alike. It's our respect and encouragement of each other's diversity of thought that truly bind us together. For the curious and the seekers, Unitarian Universalist values and covenant may be found on your order of service and at our website, triuu.org. Our newsletter included in the timetable can also be found there under news and events. Hi, Rita. I haven't seen her in a long time. Sorry, people. We have announcements, but first what? Yeah, silence your phone or turn it off or put in airplane mode, whatever works for you. Thank you. If you're here today looking for our minister, Reverend Christina, sorry, you have me. She's going to be here in the pulpit next Sunday. Please stay after today's service and join us for our monthly bagel breakfast. Next Sunday, March 29, is our 5th Sunday special collection for Shepherd's Lighthouse. Cash donations or checks written to TriUU with 5th Sunday on the memo line will be accepted. You can also click on the donate button on our website and donate to 5th Sunday online. Also, next Sunday at 3 p.m., Threat Fury, an American singer-songwriter prominent in the women's music and folk music scene for over 50 years, will be performing here. Tickets are $20 and are available from Marsha Schlosser, over there, or at the door. Finally, I have an announcement of my own. 2 weeks ago, somebody left me a note like this big and with the collection, but it wasn't signed, so I don't know who did it. And I really would like to know. So if it was somebody here, please meet me at the toaster over there after the service. This concludes our announcement, and as we now begin our service proper, we will recite our mission statement. Please join with your voice as we recite together. We unite in religious community to seek spiritual growth, live with integrity, and serve with compassion. Our chalice keeper today is Peggy Roberts. We invite those of you joining us on Zoom to light your chalice at home.
Sorry for that little mistake over there. The chalice lighting today is one I picked for Music Sunday, and it's written by Marnie Singer. The chalice is the container, the space where the musicians and the listeners gather. The oil is the fuel, the hours of practice and the life experiences of everyone in the room. The wick is the instruments and vocal cords through which the music will flow. And the flame is the music which is created. As if by magic, when the instruments are lifted, the breath inhaled, and the downbeat is nodded. May this flame ignite the music in us all.
This week on 60 Minutes, I'm profiling Tony Bennett and his efforts to get back on stage, suffering from Alzheimer's. With his doctor's blessing and his family's help, they booked 2 nights at Radio City with Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett.
Here's Anderson Cooper.
Hey, Tony, how you doing? Nice to see you.
Tony has a hard time holding a conversation. You know, his Alzheimer's has really progressed.
How did you feel about the concert the other night?
I don't know what you mean.
I saw you at Radio City. You did a great job.
Oh, thank you very much.
Debbie is Tony's neurologist, and she diagnosed him. So
Music is housed in different parts of the brain, including parts of the brain that deal with emotion, and therefore it's easy to be moved by it.
Tony, would you sing Fly Me to the Moon? Nobody in the world sings it like you. Fly me to the moon.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me know what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
please stand as you are willing and able as we sing our opening hymn, Getting to Know You. So, I want to introduce you to my friend, Kent Ingram. Kent built his life around music. He was a music educator, a performer, and a choir singer in every church he joined throughout his life. Music was the way he connected, how he expressed himself, how he belonged. Frank met Kent when we moved to the villages in 2015. Kent welcomed him warmly into the local performing community. And for 9 years, they played together in several different groups. Connie, Kent's wife, and I watched it from the audience, and little by little, we became very close friends, the four of us. There you go. That's Kent in his different groups. And can you bring the other one? And that's us, the four of us. And this was just in December 2025. But early in 2024, Frank began noticing small changes, mistakes that weren't like Kent, moments of confusion he was having. So when Kent and Connie shared with us that he had a dementia diagnosis, we understood what we had been watching, and our hearts really broke for them. One by one, the opportunities to make music began to disappear, and his world got smaller and smaller. Until in December 2024, when Frank and I were in Brazil for the holidays, Connie sent us an email telling us that Kent was stepping down from his last ensemble. Music, which was the center of his life, was suddenly gone. We were really devastated, Frank and I think not only for them, but because we were not close to hug them. So, and when you are devastated, you try to, the way you, at least we cope, is that we try to do something. So we began searching for maybe a music group that he could join, a music group that had people with dementia that he could join. And, but we found very little. Was there a place where people who loved music could sing or play after a dementia diagnosis? A place where they could still belong? That's how Melodies in Mind was born. Not from a strategic plan, but from friendship and from grief, and from the belief that music still belongs to Kent and to everyone like him for as long as they want it. As we move deeper into our service, let us turn inward to consider transitions, the joys, sorrows, and concern we all experience in our life's journey. We are sad to share that Bruce Andrews' wife of 46 years, Gully, passed away on Monday. She had been diagnosed with dementia about 8 years ago. Bruce used to bring her to the church sometimes, which she loved, as she was a very social person, so some of us probably remember her. A service is being arranged, likely at the Presbyterian church where they met and have been members. If you'd like more information, let Bruce know. There are 3 bowls of stones of different colors representing the gratitude of joy, the grief of sorrow, and the hope of concern. After those present have placed the stones in the water, our ushers will place stones from each of the bowls into the water on behalf of those who are not physically present and those who have chosen not to or are unable to come forward. Those online are invited to type into the chat to express what is in your heart. When all stones have been mingled in the water and all have shared, we'll take a moment of silence, meditation, or prayer. As the sound of the bells bring us back into community, we'll sing our response, Find a Stillness. Ushers, you may now come forward. We will now receive your offering. If you're visiting us for the first time, please don't feel obligated to give. You are our guest, and we are very happy to have you with us today. This is the time in our service when those who wish to make some monetary contribution to our congregation's vision and mission give to support this community and its outreach. If you are putting cash in the basket that you want credit towards your pledge, please put the cash in a manila envelope with your name on the front. Envelopes are available at the table at the back of the sanctuary. I invite the ushers to come forward.
That video, we continue the slides. Yeah. Slides continue, please. In both those little video clips, it's the same choir, one rehearsing and the other in performance. There were 48 singers up there. I have to do a lot of this, so excuse me. 16 of them, about 1/3 of those singers, have dementia. Another 16 are the caregivers of those same singers. And the remaining 16 are volunteer singers from various choirs and chorus groups, vocal groups, and so on around the area, including our own, by the way. But I think it would be interesting to hear how does it work, maybe more important, why does it work, and how did we get there from the introduction a year ago that Maria just told you about. Let's start with how it all started. Just anytime I pause for breath, go to the next one. Okay. When in doubt, Google it. And that's basically what we did. Because when we found ourselves in the situation of having a very good friend whose life was being turned upside down. And by the way, he had not lost, as we say in the music business, his playing chops. He still played extremely well. He had no problem at all playing, but he could get lost in the music very easily. Rehearsals were very difficult because things happened so fast and so on. But we had no idea what to do. We didn't find anything around here, and we started Googling like crazy. And it took us several weeks. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute, until we were finally able to get the foundation of a solution. Once we did, and this was about a year ago, we founded Melodies in Mind with Kent and Connie. So Maria and I and Kent and Connie were the founders. And most importantly, we acquired a lot of expertise, which we needed because we didn't have it. And I had no experience whatsoever with dementia. I had some music experience. Maria's mother has dementia, but otherwise we knew nothing, had no idea what to do. So we got a lot of expertise. We had our first rehearsal in June of last year. We did 6 sessions, I think it was, which was kind of experimental. It worked, I can't say better than what we expected because we just didn't know what to expect, but it was very well received. And when we decided to start a full season in the fall, every single one of the people who had been there, the 18 people who were kind of our charter members in the summer, signed on again. So I think that was a pretty good indication that, yeah, we were on the right track because they wanted to continue with it. Why it works, and I think that's most important of all to understand. Most importantly, is just simply is that music keeps on giving, and Tony Bennett that's a very moving example because he was up to here in dementia. He could not carry on a conversation, but as soon as that microphone was in front of him, all that came back, and it was like the clock had been rolled back 50 years. And what we miraculously found is that it's not just the professionals that have that. Anybody who has done any kind of singing or involved in music in their life has that back there, and it's astonishing how quickly it can come back. So that's the key. If it wasn't for that, this wouldn't work. And by the way, all this is very well documented in the medical literature, but the one thing that's not documented is why is it? Why is it that music stays and nothing else does? And they still don't have a clue as to why, but we're just happy that it does and to be involved with it. Let me get my glasses or something. I have a hard time seeing that. Wow. Can you guys read it okay? Good, read it to me. No. Another reason that it works, which is very important, and that's that this is a safe and a welcoming environment. This is something that we didn't understand in the beginning, how important that is, because people with dementia and their caregivers sometimes they dread going out in public. And not because there's going to be any unpleasant incidents or anything, but just people are not accustomed to it. The waiter that comes over that takes the order and says, "What do you have, sir?" Just expect some kind of a response. It's just, it's natural. So for them to know, and we start the very first rehearsal, the very first thing that we tell them is what you need to know more than anything else, forget about the music and all that kind of stuff, is that you are in a safe and welcoming place. Everybody here is in the same boat. And we reinforce that throughout the rehearsals. The volunteers who help us that you're going to hear about in a minute and hear from some, receive some special training to help, reinforce that, make sure that that feeling of safeness, of security, and so on, continues throughout. And that opens up big doors for these people beyond the music itself. It goes even beyond that. Dementia care expertise. I said we do not have any of that. And in one of the very amazingly incredible things that happened early on was that the person who was running a support group that Connie, the wife of our friend Kent, was in. It turns out that she is the leading dementia care expert in the Villages area. She started a big group there at the Villages Health thing, and they had over 1,000 clients. She has her own business now, but she's really expert in this. And when we went to her with this idea and said, kind of, what do you think? She says, my God, I got people right now that would be happy to sign up, right away. And she has been with us, involved in the operation ever since. And that's made a huge difference in our knowledge and just in our self-confidence that we wouldn't blow this thing up, that we knew what we're doing. What does that say? Uniquely qualified music team. We were also, again, with this serendipitous fortuitiveness, that we found an excellent music director who not only had his degree is in choral music conducting, a master's degree. So you can't get, more down the pocket than that. But he also has he instinctively had the right personality to be able to work with people with dementia, to learn to take things one step at a time. If you want to say, we want to do this passage a little faster and a little louder, normally you'd say, okay, let's do this, a little presto and forte. No, you can't do that. You got to stop the jargon and you got to take it one piece at a time. Let's do it a little slower. Okay. Let's do it louder, okay? And it works. You just have to take it. But he instinctively understood that, and that just made a huge difference. We also, as it turns out, Connie, the wife of Kent, is an excellent pianist. So she is the accompanist for the group. Again, just an incredible stroke of luck. And the volunteers that we found, who are these singers, from various choirs and the Village Voices and all these different groups around here that not only have brought their vocal talents to this, but their understanding, their warm-heartedness in the way that they are able to work with these people. So we just have a great team. Familiar songs. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah. That's in a lot of choruses. Obviously, sometimes you like to do challenging new, music that nobody's ever heard of before. That's difficult for people with dementia. It can be done, but it takes an awful lot of work, and it kind of takes the fun out of it. So all of the music that we do, it's popular stuff, show tunes, Broadway stuff, and so on. Anywhere from like maybe the 40s up through the 80s or so. So most of the words, the lyrics, are already back there. And they come back very readily, so that makes a big difference too. This is the giving voice model, and I said in the beginning that we didn't know what to do, and that's true. What we did come across was an organization based in Minneapolis called the Giving Voice Initiative, and they tackled this challenge about 15 years ago. And they created a chorus, just like ours, or we created one kind of like theirs. But they did it first, and within a couple of years, it had grown to 5 choruses because it was just got too big. They had like 250 members. They still do. But they have since turned their attention to helping to support, to spawn similar choruses across the country. And without their model, without their help, their phone, there was always somebody there we could talk to. And in the beginning, God, we had 15 questions a day. And they were always there to help. So that, again, without all of these pieces being there, I don't think this thing would have worked. But that was a very important piece. And finally, and this is the one thing that we have brought to the party that we call our secret sauce, actually, are our partnership trios. Yes, it's a partnership trio. Okay, the partnership trio, each of the trios, we organize the group this way. And we have what we call the key partner. That's the person with dementia, okay? The next one is the care partner. That's the caregiver of the key partner, the one with dementia. And the third one is what we call the chorus partner. And these are these volunteer singers who have, besides the talent they already have gone through some special training with us in how to most effectively interact with singers with dementia. And it just makes a big difference. How it works is like this. The way that they're seated is very important. You can see the key partner and the care partner are on the outside. The chorus partner sits in the middle. And the reason for that is, go on to the next slide and show the other part of it. The other part of this is that there are 2 music books. They're exactly the same, but instead of each person having one book, the key partner, the person with dementia, and the chorus partner, they share one book. This means that the chorus partner is able to manage, if you will, the page turning, that kind of stuff, and most importantly, help when they get lost, because I would say, correct me if this is wrong, Ann, but I think this is probably the most common thing that everyone with dementia has. They can get lost on the page very easily, or just jumping from line to line. I mean, heck, we do that. So you can imagine. So they're there ready to point. And instead of having to point at their book and then the other person find it in their book and so on, which is kind of cumbersome, we, after about 15 iterations of trying how should we do this, we came up with this model. And we've been at it now for about a half a year, and it seems to really work well. Although we point out to everyone at the beginning, this is what we recommend, this is how we're going to start. But if for some reason you find for your little trio that something that is switching the seating or maybe using 3 books, it would be a better solution. That's fine. It's not cast in stone. And we have a couple of people who do that, but almost all of them stay with this model. This is very important to see here too. And this is another great thing that we took forever to come up with. This is a typical page of music. Someone who reads music, or someone who's been a singer all their life and so on, piece of cake. To someone with dementia, even if they are dynamite singers, this is just a lot of visual clutter. And visual clutter is one of the things that you want to eliminate as much as possible. It's a really big thing. So the solution is this. And this is something that Maria came up with. She understood what the problem was and she's played around with all kinds of solutions. What this is, number one, you can see all the piano part, the harmony, all the other kind of stuff, that's all been stripped out, okay? It's only the melody line. Because in the chorus, at least right now, we all sing melody. Everybody sings melody in unison. In the summer, by the way, we're going to start experimenting with a little harmony, but right now it's just a melody. We're still back on that. If you could back up to that one, yeah. Yeah. No, it was there. And then flip again. There you go. The other thing is that the words, the lyrics, are magnified about 4 times larger than they are on the usual music print. and they are highlighted, okay? And the music is spaced out. The spacing between the measures is based on the words, not on the music. And that's not the way that the music comes when you buy it, okay? So again, the whole idea is to make this as simple as possible for the singers with dementia to keep up with where they are. And this is a solution, and it seems to have just worked very well. Thank you very much for that. Yep, okay. Okay. I think you would, I'm sure that you would like to hear, and I would like you to hear a little bit about what the actual chorus experience is like. The rehearsals run for an hour, and then there's about a half-hour coffee and socializing break afterwards. We are very fortunate in the chorus to have 4 of the members of the chorus come from TriUU. And they are Rose and Glenn and Tim and Ann. And I have 2 of them who are joining us up here right now that I would like to ask them to share a little bit with you about what it's like to do this, what the experience is like. So Glenn, maybe if you could come up and.
Hello?
Yep.
Good. That's good. Thank you. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Too late. So a few months ago, shortly after Rose and I had, started attending church and then joining the church, Frank came up to me and after church service and asked if Rose and I might be interested in joining a dementia-friendly chorus. He really didn't know anything about Rose or myself, but was very observant. And I didn't even know what a dementia-friendly chorus would be. I couldn't imagine what it was. But regardless of that, I said yes immediately, because Rose and I had been living a pretty isolated existence since 2018 when she had a traumatic brain injury. And she lost a lot of her cognitive abilities back then. But starting in early 2025, I noticed something beyond just the brain injury. Little by little, some other things were happening. And so Frank's invitation to join the choir was very timely for us. So anyway, Rose had sung in a church choir many, many years ago when we were regular attenders at a different church, and she was really dedicated to it. I didn't sing in the choir, but Rose did, and she never missed a rehearsal, never missed a service. And I told Frank, I said, she has a good ear and a good voice, but the lyrics might be a problem. And Frank said, no problem. It doesn't really matter. As long as she can sing the right tune, we'll be happy. So that was a relief for me. And as Frank mentioned, all the tunes are very familiar. And one thing about Rose is she has an encyclopedic knowledge of songs. Before the TBI, any song that she knew the words to just about everything. She was just raised with a lot of music, both classical and standards and everything. So she has almost a Tony Bennett knowledge of lyrics. But they don't all come out that way now. Anyway, the tunes are very familiar. Caregivers, I was going to repeat some of the things that Frank already told you. The caregivers have to be there at the rehearsal. By the way, not every caregiver has to sing in the choir, but I think almost all of them do, right? Yeah, but it's not a requirement. If the caregiver is not comfortable doing that, it's not required. But they do need to be there, obviously, for obvious reasons. But anyway, as a retired band director and music teacher, I was really happy to, I think this has been therapy for me as much as it has been for Rose to sing in the choir. And also it brought us close together, you know, even though our care singer or care partner sits between us in the rehearsals. During the week, Rose and I will sit at the piano and we'll practice our music. And, So Frank signed us up, and we started rehearsals in November. And our choir, what are they called? The choir partner?
Chorus.
Partner, yeah. Our chorus partner was Gail. I think her last name's Harmeyer. Some of you, believe you know Gail, some of you, because she was here a couple months ago and was talking to some people, and she was great. And the training, Frank talked about the training that the chorus partners get. And it's obvious, you know, when you first meet your chorus partner, because immediately they're showing interest in the key singer, the person with dementia. And it's, I have to say that Gail was just wonderful. She was just, we got to know her, she got to know us. We have a new one this time. Gail couldn't continue because I think they were moving. But we have another one now, Jamie, and it's the same thing. Just easy to talk to, and you know they all stay afterwards for the coffee and the cookies, and it just means a lot. By the way, yeah, Kim Bishop is our director. He's everything you could possibly hope for, as Frank mentioned. He's gentle, he's respectful of everyone, and, you know, highly educated in choral music, but he doesn't come off that way. You know, he just comes off like just a nice guy, a very nice guy, gently telling us, helping us to get better, all of us, to sing better. And he gets great results, he really emphasized bringing the lyrics of the song to life. You know what I mean? He's not going to tell you, oh, you're a little sharp there or you're a little flat. No, we don't do. He just wants to bring the lyrics to life, and he prefers that we smile. But we don't often enough. So anyway, going to Wednesday morning rehearsals feels more like a privilege than an obligation. We're always happy to be there for the singing and the fellowship. And as every choir member will tell you, I already mentioned, the cookies and the coffee afterwards are just what the doctor ordered. The pastor and the staff at North Lake Presbyterian Church, where we practice, they welcome us, make us feel welcome and right at home. Even the pastor of the church comes and stops in at our rehearsals and says hello. And last rehearsal, we sang happy birthday to him because it was his birthday. I think it was St. Patrick's Day is his birthday. So anyway, as I mentioned when Rose and I practice at home, those are precious moments and they'll never be forgotten. So I don't know if singing with melodies in mind, I don't know enough about dementia, but I don't know if it's slowing the progression of the condition for the singers. Maybe not, maybe, who knows. But I do know that it's providing joy, tremendous joy, building confidence. Rose has gained a lot of confidence just from participating. And that's at a time in our lives when both are pretty hard to come by. So many of you came to our concert in November and gave us a standing ovation, and we appreciate that. And any of you who would like to come to our upcoming concert, that's going to be on Tax Day, April 15th, and come and hear us again.
Yep. Better go down. Hit the down button. How's that?
Great, perfect, okay. Can you hear me okay? Yes. All right, good. There were several reasons why, I'm Ann McCusker, by the way. There are several reasons why I agreed to sing with melodies in mind. First, for me, singing in a group forms a connection with other singers and creates a certain energy, especially when the music and the singing come together to produce the sound you want. And I think our concert was a really great example of that. The second thing was I had a mom with dementia, and I know that she would have loved being able to sing in a group like this if the opportunity had been available to her. And finally, seriously, how can you say no to Frank and Maria? When they ask you, you have to say yes. They do it nicely. You want to do it for them. Admittedly, for me, before this first session, I had some apprehension. Even though I'm a nurse and I know about dementia, I'd never sung with any, a person with dementia, except for maybe my mother. But I wasn't sure how much help my chorus, my partner was going to need, musically and otherwise. And would he have enough comprehension and ability to read the words and hear the music so that the experience would be enjoyable for him? And I worried for nothing because my partner David and his wife Julie were delightful singing partners. Both had sung in choirs and had good voices. It was easy to relax and just enjoy them and the singing. David did not always seem to remember who I was from week to week. I could tell he was puzzled about why I was sitting between he and Julie, sharing my music notebook with him. Every time we sang one of the romantic songs in our program, I Can't Help Falling in Love with You, and you can thank me later that that song is now going to be playing in your head, he would look across to Julie with adoring eyes and say to me, "That's my wife." As if I was, he wanted to make sure that I shouldn't be moving in on, the territory. So, but seeing the tenderness, the patience, and the dedication displayed by the caregivers, as well as the chorus director, the pianist, and other volunteers has been an antidote to the cruelty and fear that I feel has become so pervasive in our communities and world. For one morning each week, it is a balm to my soul to be in a room filled with laughter, love, and song. And the cookies are really good too. Thank you.
Get back to the slides there. Real quick. We can go through these because this was just some slides to, in case they needed help, but they don't. Go ahead, we'll go through these in the interest of time. Just say that the dementia is different for everybody, for every person, including the people who are working with. And we are just very lucky to have people from TriUU doing that. Thank you, guys. Yep. The Anne, Glenn, Rose, Tim, everyone who's involved in the chorus, in any one of those three roles, as the person with dementia, the caregiver, the volunteer, they're the ones that make it happen. We've kind of put the organization together, but they're the ones that make the magic happen. Every season, as Glenn mentioned, culminates in a public performance, which is a very important part of the experience. They enjoy the idea of, this isn't just a sing-along, they're there preparing for something, and they really love it. And those of you who were there at the concert last November, I think you could you could tell by their faces and the way they sang and so on, that they just had a ball performing. Yep. Appreciate that. He is one of those volunteers. We've had so many who from TriUU who have been involved in making this all possible, and we applaud and thank you all very much. The spring concert, yes, we give a plug about that. There's little flyers on the table back there. So between your bagels and so on, you can take one of those, and hopefully we'll be able to see you there. It was just a year ago that Maria and I were sitting at our kitchen table saying that there must be some way to help our friend Kent stay engaged in music somehow. And we had absolutely no clue how to do it or what to do. But as in life, you stumble across a need, you imagine, you plan, you do your best, and you hope for some good. But sometimes you have this serendipitous confluence of your hard work plus some amazing partners that just seem to materialize when you need them most, plus a little touch of luck, and then something magic happens. We discovered that singing together is a pathway to continued connection, engagement, and the joy of sharing for those with dementia, their care partners, and the volunteer singers, and in fact, the entire community. Memories may fade, but belonging need not.
I just want to say, again, thank you for this community. Everybody here has been supportive in their own way. I just want to mention Nancy Garrison and John Shepard, who were at our first concert distributing programs. So thank you very much. I hope you can do it again. And Liz, who took a whole group of people from one of the assisted living facilities. And Andrea, I don't want to, there are so many names, Lou and Ally, so many names. So thank you so much, because without the support of this community and the encouragement, and like Frank said, without this fortune of having around us a bunch of people who helped us and who thought, yeah, that seems a good idea, I don't know if this would have happened. So it's not just us. Please stand and join us for our closing hymn, this little light of mine. Peggy Roberts now is going to read our chalice extinguishing message.
Our challenging extinguishing message is written in stone, and this sits by my front door. A friend knows the song in your heart and knows the song in my heart and sings it to me when my memory fails. And I wanted to know who said it, so I Googled it. And it was Donna Roberts, no relation. But it said it's really it's really attributed to C.S. Lewis. And here's the original statement. A friend is someone who knows the song in your heart and can sing it back to you when you have forgotten the words.
I'd like to invite anyone who has just begun to visit with us and wishes to do so to introduce themselves. Please raise your hand and an usher will bring a microphone to you. Keep the microphone close to your mouth, please, so we can hear you better.
Now I know why you give out those red tags.
No, we can hear you.
It's on, okay. My name is Greg Grosh. I've been a UU member for many years. I hailed for, Monday, tomorrow, I will have lived in my house in the Villages for 3 weeks.
Oh.
So getting here this morning was a challenge. Since I'm way down sort of where 466A is, I thought, this is an awful lot of moss-covered, and farms for sale area. Am I headed in the right direction? But my first UU experience was with, I think it's like the third largest congregation in the world, which is Dallas, Texas, where we have thousands of members. And we sing. He noticed that. and said, "You sing out." I said, "Yes, we all did there." And I just came from San Diego, which has, if you've never been there, has a fabulous mid-century modern UU church overlooking a valley. It's just really a wonderful sight. But I'm glad to be here today and take it from there.
Welcome, Greg. I hope you keep taking the long rides to go. It's not that bad. Yeah, there you go. Audiobooks, you know, there are lots of things you can. Anybody else? No? I'd like to, if you'd like to receive regular communications on upcoming TriUU events, please take and fill out a guest card, which will be available at the door after the service. On April 28th, there will be a class for those wanting to know more about TriUU. Please sign up at the table in the back of the room. If you have any questions, feel free to see Andrea at the table after the service. So we are interested. Should I do this? Yeah, well, Reverend Christina is not here today. So yeah, you are stuck with me, so I'll do whatever I want. We are interested to hear how you experienced this hybrid worship service and or what you took away from the sermon. For those who are on Zoom, raise your hand to speak or type your comment in the chat box. For those here in the gathering space, please raise your hand. If there is time, I'll call you. I will call on you. It says here Frank or I will call on you, but Frank is not here, so it's please share your name and keep the microphone close to your mouth so we can hear you better. Our Zoom friends miss your face, so if you are willing, they would love to see you while you are talking. If you wish to be seen on the monitors and by those attending on Zoom, please stand directly here in front of the pulpit. Please keep comments brief and on topic. No announcements, please. But so we have the concert on April 15th. Andrea?
Andrea Coburn. And having attended the concert last spring, I really want to encourage everyone to go. It will bring tears to your eyes and joy to your heart. It is so beautiful and touching, and it's easy to get to North Lake Presbytery. So these flyers, I don't know. Anyway, the flyers are at the back table, and pick one up and tell your friends. You'll be glad you did. And thank you to all of you that participated today and brought this to our attention.
Thank you, Andrew. Well, just plugging in, there are two flyers in the back table. One is about just a flyer for the concert, but the other one is a flyer that explains the chorus project. So if you have friends or if you know somebody who could benefit or who would like to join the chorus, please take a flyer. There are no auditions, nothing like that. You just have to be able to carry a tune, and that's it. Anybody else? Tim.
Tim McCusker here. Frank mentioned the Village Voices as being some of the participants in the Melodies in Mind. I'd like to mention, I know I can't make an announcement, but I sing with The Beat Goes On, and The Beat Goes On has a concert on April 10th at 5 p.m. at Hope Lutheran Church, and I have tickets available if you'd like to buy them. Thank you very much.
Well, maybe he gets away with that too, because I think like 6 or so of the chorus partners are from that group, so it's worth it.
Carol Clark. I love coming here because I always learn something new. And this was particularly timely for me because I signed up for a brain study because they gave $100. And, and I thought I was perfectly fine, but it came up with some serious problems for me. So I'm doing some work on that. So if any of you are interested, I'm not going to hog up time here, but if anyone, I feel like I have control of this situation, and I might do something to stave off dementia, make it not so bad. So I'm willing to share if anyone is interested.
Thank you. Thank you, Carol.
Hi, Liz Perdue. As Maria mentioned, I brought a bunch of my Banyan buddies, I call them, the assisted living facility that I volunteer in, where my mom was. She would have so benefited from this too. But aside from watching the women that we took to the concert singing, even though they weren't on the stage, they were singing in the audience along and crying. It was just so touching. So yes, I think it was, thank you all so much for doing that. It was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And but the thing that really got me was we got there very early, so I watched people coming in, and aside from on the stage, the TriUU people, the people handing out programs, there was a steady stream of TriUUers coming in to see the concert, and that made me feel so warm and loved. So.
Thank you, Liz.
Yes, thank you, Liz. We'll be there this year. I would especially like to thank our choir, Tom and Frank, for their musical direction. They did a great job today. Music is my passion, so I really pay attention to the words and the music. My mother also suffered from dementia, and I experienced when she was in her facility that when we took her to church service, she never forgot the words of the hymn. She sang along every time. So it's very meaningful. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Marcia Slosser. Jerry is my husband. Some of you probably know the story, but when Jerry was maybe 3rd or 4th grade and he was in an elementary chorus at his school, they were having a concert and the teacher said to him, Jerry, maybe you could just mouth the words instead of singing. And I have to say that this choir here, and Nancy and Al in particular, just meant so much to him. It took him, geez, what would that be, 78 years or so to get that teacher's little voice out of his brain, but somebody told him he could sing, and I don't know if he really could. I never thought he could, but it's all right. But thank you, Nancy, and the choir. He definitely enjoyed that part of this congregation.
Hi, I'm Mike Prims. I'm here for my semi-annual visit with my mom, Sally Prims. But I thought it was a really great presentation. It brought to mind a book that I feel very strongly about. It's called Power versus Force by David Hawkins. And it talks about consciousness. And so a lot of what David Hawkins says is that logic only gets you halfway to your level of consciousness. And I kept thinking that this is an act of love. And so this is a consciousness that is above that. And so that's why it's so powerful and so meaningful. So I just want to thank you for that.
You know, I don't get to say it very often, but I want everyone to know how much I appreciate you having me here every Sunday. It's a really big part of my week. But also, I'd like to thank Frank for being back here behind me and putting up with me every week. And we couldn't do this, where did she go? Without Peggy, that's sitting at the end. Peggy does all of the choir directing. So she keeps me from having to go up there and do the hand things, which I'm not real good at. And she does such a great job with that. And also, I'd like to thank Glenn today, because Glenn came over here, and this was like a spur of the moment thing that he was able to do this piano part, which I didn't think I could do it justice. And he did. He played that part exactly the way it's supposed to be. So I appreciate him coming up here today. So thank you all. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, and I think we have to cut it out.
Good morning, I'm Bruce. Some years ago, back home in Massachusetts, a good friend of ours had a very bad stroke. She was unable to communicate, she could not speak. Her speech therapist realized that she was a lifelong choir member at a local church, and the therapist was able to teach her to communicate by singing, because it takes a different part of the brain.
Thanks, Bruce. Hi, I'm Sandy Ogletree. Maria and
Frank.
Hi, Frank. This was wonderful. I saw that your association with this group, and I wondered how it came about. So that really filled that for me. It was such an uplifting service as well. Two things. Marcia can attest that any lyric from my teenage years that comes on, I just go. And yet I can't remember my passwords. So also, a question to you guys. How did you get information out so that all these wonderful angels showed up to support your effort?
Well, just harassing people. No, just talking to people. And we were very fortunate that it was kind of a domino effect. So we talked to one person who talked to another person. And we were very fortunate to just have all those angels coming right next to us. So, when memory falters and the path grows uncertain, life still sings. May music carry joy where there is fear, connection where there is loneliness, and help all of us feel we belong as we walk this road together.
Are you playing? I'll catch up. Go ahead. Okay.
We'll wait. Don't run. Don't run. We'll wait.
We probably need you to start it.
That's right.
Yeah, I need your 1, 2, 3, 4.
I need that clip. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 4.
Sing our song, sing our love.
Thank you, Yvette, for putting up with us today. And join us for our bagel breakfast and fellowship in the back of the room until, well, it says 11. If you want a bit more to eat and more time to visit, there is a sign-up sheet on the table near the bookshelves to coordinate with others who would like to go out to brunch. The Zoom room will stay open for 20 minutes.